name is Attack Slug and I have a new hat. Hi. What's up? Attack Slug here once again with a Q&A video. This is the December 2015 Q&A. This channel is officially, this hat looks weird once I put it on correctly. This channel is officially at 25,000 subscribers and I feel like we just hit 20K, so that's kind of insane. So as such, I'm going to answer, hopefully, 25 questions. We'll see how my voice holds out, as usual. And we're going to get to your questions. You guys, once again, have nailed it with a ton of questions, so I kind of tried to pick ones that I had not answered before in previous question and answer videos, and hopefully I can impart some new knowledge upon all of you out there in YouTube land. So let's get started. The first question from CM Ramos 999, who wants to know, how come I don't do GTA videos? There are like 50 of those on this channel. Just search for them. But as to why I'm not doing them right now, my copy of GTA 5 is over at Grimm's house because he is making his own GTA video. So perhaps at some point I'll get back to it, but in the meantime, there's way too much wrestling to get through here and other games to play. World Extreme Courage Wrestling Network wants to know if I currently own any action figures. No, I do not. You can see behind me there are some Jurassic World statues. And if I move the camera in this direction, there are some amiibos and some dinosaurs. And I guess there are some Furry Curry or Fooly Cooly FLCL deals from, like about 10 years ago. But no, like I don't collect wrestling stuff. I don't collect, like traditional action figure stuff. I don't have room for it really. So I kind of just have kind of my baseline favorite stuff, and that's kind of about it. So J. Josh Coolman and Joe T asking questions about my computer. The everlasting complaint that I've had for like 2 years now is that my computer is kind of a piece of junk. So my actual specs here, I'm running a Core 2 Duo in this thing. It's like a 2.8 Core 2 Duo. It's like an E7400. I have like 4 gigs of RAM. It's like DDR2, I think. And then it has a Radeon HD 5850, which is not a good video card anymore. At the time, I paid about $300 for it. And at the time, it was decent. These days, not so much. So as far as any plans to get a new gaming PC that is 100% hinged on the fact that I am pretty constantly just barely making enough to get my bills paid. So until I can make enough on YouTube, like when the cup overfloweth on YouTube and there is extra money to put into things, then certainly I could go about, like that's my number one thing is new gaming PC, new like audio setup, new lighting setup. Like there are upgrades that I know I want to make. There are upgrades that will make this show, for me anyway, be so much better. But as always, it is a monetary constraint. So I live by the code of do what you can with what you have to the best of your ability. That's what I've been doing here. Awesomeness Reborn 567 wants to know how I ever considered doing a different video series with Grimm besides Perplexing Pixels. Well, the crux of the issue is two things. Number one, I get about a half an hour a week. So whatever we record has to be in that half an hour. So if we record more than one thing, each individual thing gets less time to do it in. And number two, it's been 3 years and he is still terrible at video games. So like we can't really do any kind of a competitive co-op type deal because to be frank about it, he's going to be dead weight. Like any kind of a third person, first person, whatever, if it's not a game where he can mash buttons and win, it's not going to go too well. So unfortunately, for the time being, and certainly because it is the most popular video series on this channel, Perplexing Pixels will continue. William Paul Apple wants to know my favorite games to play throughout my whole YouTube career. Pick a maximum of 3. In terms of my favorite games for the past, like, decade, and obviously I've only been doing this stuff on YouTube for a couple years now, Spelunky. Always Spelunky. One of the first video series that I did with a friend of mine on Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, doing the Bitter Black Island. Like, that was like a 7-video series. I wasn't playing, but I really enjoyed sitting with him and watching that for an entire afternoon. And obviously, most recently, Super Mario Maker is one of my top games of the year. Hands down, that shit is amazing. Couple of folks here, Joshua Ward, Adam Mao, Mason, and Fallen X1234 want to know about my favorite game. For longtime fans, this is certainly a question I answer in every Q&A, and the answer never changes, baby. It is still Earthbound for the Super Nintendo. But, you know, in terms of favorite game of the last decade or so, it is Spelunky, because Spelunky, I can still go back today and play a game, and it's still awesome. Tyler Hager wants to know, what was my first console? That was the Atari 2600 from Sears. I was like 4 or 5. My dad bought it. I actually have one. It's back there. You probably can't see it on the bottom of my entertainment unit. One of my fans had gotten it for me at a show a couple years back, and I still have it and it still works. But my original one that I had when I was a kid at some point just stopped working. But I still have all the games from when I was a kid, so that thing plays those games, and Moon Patrol is still awesome. Nick Wheeler wants to know my predictions for the future of Nintendo. That's like a much longer video. I'd say it's debatable on whether or not they can launch the NX next year. It's debatable on whether or not the NX is going to be a hybrid between a handheld and a console. All I know is that in a post-Iwata era, with him passing away, their new president, and can they groom somebody else to kind of follow in the footsteps of somebody that was so unique? Their market position is kind of really weird right now, but obviously all kinds of interesting rumors coming out of the gaming world as far as what they're doing next, and certainly we're going to find out more at E3, but Nintendo's been around for 100 years. Over 100 years. So I don't think they're going anywhere, I hope. Callum Nickel wants to know if I'm ever going to go to the UK for a vacation, and where would I like to go in the UK? I've never been out of the country. I've been out of the state, but I've never been out of the country. And getting on an airplane for that many hours with the condition that my back is usually in is probably a bad idea. I'm not saying I couldn't do it. Give me enough medication and I will go anywhere. If I were to actually plan a trip to the UK, I think it'd probably be centered around some kind of wrestling live event, because from what I've seen on TV, UK crowds are amazing at live events. Reels Gaming Videos wants to know, what do I think my favorite game of the year? Better not be Battlefront or Black Ops 3. Well, I can assure you, it is not going to be Battlefront or Black Ops 3. However, stay tuned to this channel later in the month, and you will have my full Game of the Year coverage. I'm not going to spoil it just yet. I'm still playing things. It's, you know, games haven't stopped coming out yet. Just last night got into the first hour of Just Cause 3, so, you know, I don't know yet. There are games I have not played. Undertale yet. I have not finished playing, like, so many indie games, and honestly, my Game of the Year coverage is literally based on what games that I play. I'm not, you know, a website. I don't have an editorial staff. It's just me. But yes, there will be Game of the Year coverage sometime in the last week of December. So look forward to that. Mausa Shabna, I think I'm saying that right. Probably not. Asks, will I ever play some horror games on this channel? Man, I would like to. The thing is, most horror games, or the large amount of horror games these days, are all on the PC, as I covered in an earlier question. My PC, as far as doing game capture, is not up to snuff in the least, but certainly I would like to do more horror games. And honestly, there are some, like, if I could do like a whole series on like Silent Hill, that'd be great, but also Konami or ass. Like, I want to do it, but not if I'm going to get hit with a bunch of strikes by a bunch of douchebag companies, so we'll see. Creeper Boy Plays wants to know how long I've been watching the WWE. I started watching in 1994, and for those of you who haven't done the math yet, that means I've been watching for 21 years. I've seen just about everything you could see in a wrestling organization happen at least twice. Jeremiah Baez wants to know my favorite late night snack. Well, I will tell you that I currently have an empty bag of peanut M&Ms right here. They are so good, and I try not to keep them in the house, because if I do, they're just gone in like 2 days. Ed Savage wants to know my thoughts on the League of Nations. Now, I did get into a bit of this during my Raw reactions this past week, and certainly it is a compelling idea for a faction, even if they kind of did have something similar in their game back in WWE 12. But I think the unfortunate reality is, guess who's back in like 2 weeks? That's right, John Cena. Y'all getting squished. Hellfire Gaming wants to know, am I going to record with other YouTubers besides Grim? That is a tricky proposition, certainly as I gain more and more prominence and subscribers and attention here on YouTube. Doing some kind of collaboration with other larger or similar sized YouTubers, could be a way to introduce each other to our, different audiences. That could be fun. However, I think the best reactions, the best chemistry, the best videos you get when playing games with other people are when you are in the same room. So unless they live nearby, that kind of becomes difficult. I think doing that kind of stuff over Skype kind of just the energy is just not the same. So to answer your question, I have no idea. Sir Chubbles wants to know what game is on PC I wish would come to console. I think the Half Minute Hero 2, which is actually a port of the PSP game in Japan, only came out here on Steam. I think Half Minute Hero 2 needs to be either on handhelds or on console. I think it's certainly a better experience there. But as of right now, I kind of think that's going to end up being a PC-only game, which is unfortunate because it was originally on a handheld. Dionzio Martinez and Reese Whitcomb want to know about Pokemon and also Xenoblade, but mainly Pokemon. Here's the problem with Pokemon. The problem is twofold. One, getting a 3DS capture unit is prohibitively expensive. We're talking hundreds of dollars to get a capture unit for the 3DS. It's basically, you're getting a whole brand new 3DS that has like a video out thing. And secondly, when it comes to YouTube, Nintendo are giant backwards pains in the ass, and having to deal with content ID and copyright strikes, etc., from Nintendo is not a thing that I look forward to in any capacity. So that kind of makes that difficult. In terms of Xenoblade, that's a huge game. There's a lot to explain and a lot of text, and I don't know that I could explain that to Grim in 30 minutes. That game needs like 3 hours, and I just don't have 3 hours. DJ Drumma and Madi, I don't know, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, want to know the eternal question, what is better, PlayStation or Xbox? And I will continue to be in a position where I am lucky enough and fortunate enough to have all of the consoles, because that's kind of how I don't ever want to be walled off from a game that I can't play. But my answer kind of remains the same, is it depends on what exclusives you care about. And if you don't care about exclusives, if you just want to play games that are going to look and play the best, then it's PS4. It has the better hardware at the end of the day, no matter what weird-ass fanboys will tell you about, oh, there's a secret sauce to the Xbox is coming. Where is it? It's been 2 years. It's not happening. Ronaldi Gala wants to know what I really think about the WWE. Well, I'd say first and foremost, go watch my Raw reactions each week to know what I really think about the WWE. But secondly, overall, I think they have a hell of a talent roster that is being improperly utilized in the current day and age. I think that the heavily scripted promos are killing them. I think having a guy sink and swim based on his own charisma, give him some bullet points and have him sink or swim on his own charisma could help them tremendously. They're not allowing guys to properly connect with the audience, and certainly a big part of their problem is the man himself, Vince McMahon, in the fact that he is so amazingly out of touch in his old age. And they get so mad at WWE when guys get over on their own. Not the guys they want to get over, but guys get over on their own volition, and they just flatten that shit. When Bad News Barrett was getting over, they're like, no, stop doing that. You're supposed to be a heel. Don't do the bad. Like, it was over. People fucking loved that shit, and they just squashed it. It's when Cesaro was doing the swing. You're supposed to be a heel. Stop doing this. People are popping for the swing. Like, they are so ass backwards in so much things they do. Despite having an amazing talent roster, it is annoying, to say the least. Will Franklin wants to know who I think will be a surprising entrant in this, next year's, the 2016 Royal Rumble. I think that's going to depend on who is the champ. I think it is quite possible that at that point in time, Roman Reigns might be the champ, and therefore a returning Brock Lesnar will come into the Rumble and destroy everybody to get his spot to fight Reigns for the championship at Mania in a rematch from last year. That would not surprise me. If they're going to have Taker fight Cena, then you don't need to have either of those guys win the Rumble. But hey, who knows? Big Man Top Shot wants to know what games made sad at the ending or overall. Now, if you're saying a game to make you like actually feel emotions, because of the actual quality of the writing, I would say go play To the Moon. That ending is so goddamn depressing, and I am looking forward to that sequel when it comes out eventually. There are plenty of visual novels that also can they're stories and they're well written. But if you want to know what games made me sad at the quality of the game, I would say Steel Battalion Heavy Armor, because, man, the original Steel Battalion was so cool, and then that one was a Kinect game, and it was fucking garbage, and it made me sad. Anyway, Hunter Banks wants to know what I think about TNA being moved to Pop TV, and what do I think the future holds for TNA. TNA is the company that won't die. It is the zombie wrestling company. I don't know how they could possibly continue to hang on with what they're currently doing, but I wish them the best of luck, because there really is no number two here. It's WWE and kind of everybody else. So if they could ever finally get a strong number two in this business, that'd be cool. But that kind of, remains to be seen. Hunter's Custom Figs wants to know if I'm going to play that Walking Dead thing that they announced at the Game Awards, the Michonne miniseries, and Season 3. Obviously, they have not officially confirmed Season 3 yet. Telltale, I like Telltale stuff. However, their game engine is so, they've been building on an engine for 10 years now. They need to take some time off from doing 18 different projects, and they, Batman, Avengers, whatever else, fix your engine. And honestly, Walking Dead Season 1, phenomenal. Season 2, really didn't care for it. So, am I going to play the Michonne miniseries? Probably. Am I going to play it at launch? Maybe not. But certainly I am interested to see where they go from there with that stuff. Redfire14 wants to know my thoughts on the WWE ratings. I think the company needs to stop. Obviously, they're a public company now, right? So they have to care about ratings. They have to care about shareholders. I'm saying they shouldn't. They should pick a plan, have a 6-month to 1 year plan with what they want to do, and then execute. If you have a well-executed plan that has a logical consistency, the audience will follow. If you allow your talent to connect with the audience, you will have an audience. Right now, it's just everything spinning their wheels, and that is why the ratings are in a free fall. But don't worry, kids. John Cena's back in 2 weeks. And finally, saving the best for last, we have some 2K17 questions from Matthew McCarthy, from Alessandrito Aguilar, 21, and from Twisted Clown about the future of next year's game, which obviously I'm buying next year's game. That's, I make enough of those videos, that is a foregone conclusion. I think get rid of all your dumb fucking minigames, revamp your submission system, fix things that don't make any goddamn sense, like the referee counting you out when you didn't get in the ring yet. There's so much that can be fixed there, but the problem is they have to hit on a yearly basis. They only have one team, so it's just Ukes hitting on it every single year, and there's not enough time to really fix things, which is unfortunate, because certainly there is potential in those games, and whether or not they can actually manage to do that. But specifically, what they're going to do for their 2K Showcase career stuff next year, why not do a Brock Lesnar edition of that game next year? Have Brock Lesnar stuff going in there, because that could be fun. But as far as who they're going to put on the cover next year, come on. The cover guy next year is going to be Roman Reigns. It's going to be Roman Reigns. That is a foregone conclusion. He is the golden boy. He is the Samoan John Cena. That's just what's going to happen. So that is going to do it for my question and answer video for December 2015. Thanks to everybody who submitted a shitload of questions. Thanks to everybody who subscribed. I can't believe we hit this number this year. I thought, we'll end the year around 2021, something like that. So 25 is just insane. Look forward to more videos. You guys continue being awesome, because there are more videos coming as soon as I can finish them, and as soon as my voice, regains some voice here and whatever else. So until next time, I'm your host, Attack Slug. For more videos on everything I could possibly record videos on here on this channel, all the time, all the times, I don't know. I'm running out of memory card space on this phone, recording this video, and I'm out.